There's a kind of charting in ProphetCharts known as grid mode, which allows you to see not just one but four charts at the same time. And there are a couple of ways to make use of grid mode. One of them is to go up to grid charts and choose grid mode, and what this will do is it'll take the existing chart and display it in four equal panes. Now in this instance I'm looking at General Electric for the past 10 years on a daily basis. And I can change any one of these panes to be specific to however I want to view it. So in this instance, I'm changing them to a 5-day, 30-day, and 1-year chart. And by the same token, I could add any specific studies I wanted to these particular charts one by one. Or I could even look at different instruments within the grid. So for example, I could look at Home Depot over here, and Google over here, and Apple over here. But the principal way that a person would probably want to use this particular style is to observe one specific stock in four different time frames. So let's return to our example of General Electric. So in this case, let's change this to a 1-day graph. We'll change this one here back to GE as a 5-day graph. Over here, we will use this GE to be a 10-day graph. And finally, in the fourth one, we'll change this to be a 3-month graph. So here we've got the different time frames for one specific stock. And if we like these time frames for the future, we can save this grid style. And you could call it anything you want. So we could call it 4 times, for example, and click OK. And now we see the style saved here as 4 times. There is a second way to use grid mode, which is by way of the watch lists. And so I could go over here and click on a certain watch list, right click on it, and say View in Grid. And what this does is that it automatically populates the 4 panes with the 4 symbols at a time from that watch list. Now we've still got the old time definitions we had from earlier, so I'm just going to change all of these to 3 months so we can all be looking at the same item. So we've got 3 months across the board, and in this instance, as we can see as we scoot down here to the arrows, as we click down one arrow at a time, it moves in blocks of 4 symbols at a time. And this is a good way to quickly look at a large watch list because you do not need to take anywhere near the same amount of time as you would if you were looking at them one by one. Now, naturally, because these are smaller graphs, the amount of detail you're going to be viewing is going to be reduced. But it's definitely a time saver if you simply want to thumb through quickly and pay specific attention to the graphs that capture your interest when doing this quick review.